Hello everyone, welcome to the first ever episode of Hot Tag Reviews. I'm Rob Campbell alongside Martin Holland, or Mart Holland as the gimmick says, and we're here to talk wrestling. Mart, what are we here to talk about?
So I've been in the game for 3 years. Rob's been in the game a lot longer.
I've been in wrestling now around 10 years, all local UK independent wrestling scene. Living the dream. I wouldn't go as far as saying up and down the country, but up and down to the Bagadome and back mainly.
Yes, baby. But basically, it's just going to be our point of view. Just going to shoot some words and just have a bit of a chat and just have a look and see what we can do.
We hope you enjoy it. So, what are we talking about today? So this weekend is the 25th anniversary of In Your House, which is an absolute iconic pay-per-view in my memory. The set, just everything about it just got me going. So NXT, WWE NXT presents In Your House this weekend. We have gone all the way back to In Your House 1, which was May 14th, 1995, I believe. Martin, what did
how old was you, Rob?
From the get? Oh, how old was I? Six. I was 6 years old when In Your House number 1 took place.
I was 7, coming on 8. So okay. This is probably just about when I was starting to get into it.
Yeah.
So this is probably the start of where it probably all began for me as well. So
I guess before we get into the matches, the card, the build-up, the stories, blah, 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 I just want to explain there was 2 things that I was dead happy hearing on the intro into this pay-per-view, and that was the World Wrestling Federation for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment. That popped me right from the get-go. Right from the get-go. And
all of the cheese.
All of the cheese, you can sprinkle it all on. You know when they come to you at Frankie's and Benny's and they're like, do you want cheese? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then look at it to say, when you're stopping, I'm like, don't stop.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
I want all of the cheese.
All of it.
And then talking about cheese, the next thing that really pleased me is Todd Pettingale's voice. I fucking love Todd Pettingale. And
what a mullet. What a mullet. He was rocking that mullet like an absolute boss. Absolute boss. Legend. He's got white teeth, tuxedo, mullet. Oh my God. It's just proper premier event, like situation going on there.
He's just born to be a radio/game show host, isn't he? Poor Todd Pettingale, because he must have thought 1993, 1995, I've got the best job in the world. It's dead easy.
Yeah.
I've got all these clown characters running about. No one gives it.
Yeah.
You know what? No one's shouting at me. And then, and then the back end of 96, 97, he's like, I think I might need a career change. And what Todd Pettingale does is a voiceover for the intro. So he promotes some of the matches that we're going to see on this card. And you know, I don't even have the match card in front of me at the minute, but he definitely promotes Diesel versus Sid to begin with for the WWF Championship, which is wow, just wow. Can't wait to get into that one. The tag team title match between the Smoking Guns and Yokozuna and Owen Hart, Camp Cornette at the time, as they surprise return Yokozuna from WrestleMania 11, which we'll talk about. Then we have a handicap match between Razor Ramon, that bad guy, versus Double J, Jeff Jarrett, and Double J, Jesse. I don't know.
I think it's Double J and the roadie, wasn't
he? He is the roadie, but he was something like Jesse James. He was a Double J as well at some point, anyway. But he was the roadie at this point. And then they plug Adam Bomb versus Mabel in the King of the Ring qualifier.
Match of the night.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Then we've got Bret Hart in 2 matches, one against Akushi and one against Jerry the King Lawler. And of course, the show opens up with Bret Hart versus Hakushi, but not before.
He needs a bit of time to have a bit of a rest on it. You know what I mean? Double duty. You can't be one after the other. Come on.
Not that King wanted him to have double duty by any means.
No.
But you're right. Yeah, he needed that little bit of rest before going out there again. But first of all, before we get a bit of Bret the Hitman Hart, we're greeted by Vince McMahon screaming down a microphone alongside Doc Hendrix. What did you make of this pair?
Doc Hendrix, which I believe is it Michael Hayes? Am I right in thinking that?
It is. It is Michael Hayes.
Because I had to double check that because it blew my mind. Like, what a gimmick name. So you got like the fabulous Freebird. He's got this absolute amazing gimmick. He's got an amazing personality. And then for some reason, exactly, how did he turn into Doc Hendrix? I never even researched it. It blew my mind too much. How did he turn into Doc Hendrix? Is it because he turned into a colour commentator? How did he even become this character? He's cut all his hair off. He's done the JBL suit gimmick. You know, what's all that about?
So there was a couple of people that applied for a job around the same sort of time for an announcer gimmick. And I can't think of the other people, but obviously Doc Hendrix, a.k.a. Michael Hayes, was successful at getting it. And then they went, "You're Doc Hendrix, you are." Just like they did with so many other great people along the years.
Yeah.
Or so many not so great people. "Oh, what do you do for a living?" "I'm a plumber." "Okay. That's what you'll play on TV."
Yeah. Wow.
That was the time that we were living in. So poor Michael Hayes became Doc Hendrix.
Right, okay.
He didn't do much.
I'm glad you told me that because
he didn't do much commentary. He was mainly commentating on Superstars, which I think most people will know is the B show from back in the 90s, really. So you had Monday Night Raw, where pretty much Jim Ross and Vince McMahon would commentate, and then the King would come into it. But then Doc Hendrix would be partnered with Mr. Perfect, Jim Ross, whoever they could find, really, to work on a Tuesday evening or a Thursday evening, I think it was when they were recording it. Absolutely madness. So, I mean, this commentary team didn't do a lot for me. But I think one of the main things that we forgot about this event is they gave away a house.
Yeah.
An actual house.
An actual house. Not just any house. It was a house in Florida.
Florida.
An actual house in Florida.
An actual house in Florida.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
Speechless.
Can't believe it.
So the first time you see the set, when Hakushi walks through the curtain, heading to the ring to take on Bret Hart, what did you feel about that set?
I think for back in the day, it was. I think it was a good thing. I think it was different. Obviously, looking at all the sets now and all the sets that's been in the past 20 years, 25 years. I think it's obviously this looks a bit dated and a bit it looks like it's relevant for its time. But I think at the time, you got 1, 2, 3, you got about 16 screens instead of a one big Titan, John. You've got a door, you've got a bell, you've got a post box. It looks like a house. They've got the gimmick down to a T.
They've got the gimmick down to a T. You can't. What more could you ask for? I'm really hopeful that they do this for the NXT pay-per-view. I am hoping that is the set for the NXT pay-per-view. And if we air this after, yes, I'm so glad they used the set. And if they didn't, I'm so disappointed that they didn't use the set. Cover all bases.
It needs to be. It needs to be. I'm expecting them to gorilla position to be like the kitchen or just behind the curtain that you don't actually see.
Yeah. Well, that definitely would have been the case back in the day, wouldn't it?
I would have thought so. Yeah, I would have thought so. Coffee machine.
Well, talking about gorilla position, you pretty much see it because Bret the Hitman Hart cuts a promo off the bat before he walks out, and the running theme of the night here in Syracuse, New York, is it's Mother's Day in 1995, and all of the baby faces must say Happy Mother's Day in their promo, because if they don't, they're probably getting a fine off Vince McMahon.
Yeah. That's definitely on the checklist. I don't care what you say. You can say your F's, you can say your B's, but you need to say Happy Mother's Day.
100%.
And that's definitely,
exactly what he does before he walks out the curtain. to face.
And can I just say as well, the running theme for the night as well is the people who are cutting promos right before the match. We say, every promo was live right before the match. You can hear the theme song playing in the background.
Yeah.
And like Bret Hart's, like he ain't even halfway through his promo yet in his first match, in the gorilla position with Pettingale. And he's like, and the guitar comes in and he's like, oh, I ain't even finished what I'm saying yet. And he's like, you can tell that he's like got loads to say, and his music's playing, the fans are cheering, and that happened quite a few times. And I'm like, who's this music guy? Where is he sitting? Where, what's going on?
Kevin Dunn has a great way of slipping and pressing the wrong button at the wrong time. It's a common theme if everybody knows who Kevin Dunn is. And he was simply just doing his job, which he's done for 25 plus years now anyway. As he says,
time, ain't he?
Yeah, he is. But that's the thing. So this pay-per-view was like, it was marketed as you're going to get a little bit of the WWF in between the big four. So this is our solution to going 3 months an event to here's in your house. We're going to charge $15 for it rather than the $34.95 that you paid for WrestleMania 11 the previous month.
Yeah.
You're going to get about an hour and 40 minutes, whether you like it or not, because that's exactly how long this one goes. They were probably aiming, based on Kevin Dunn slipping with the music, for about an hour and a half.
Yeah, definitely. And I believe the start of these in your houses because I think at this point WCW, I think they submitted about like 7 or 8 pay-per-views for this year.
Yeah.
And I think Vince was like, oh shit, we need to we can't just like survive on Raw and just 3 or 4 pay-per-views. We need to start doing a bit more for something to look forward to. Do you know what I mean?
God damn it, they're flooding the market.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that they registered like the Starcade and I don't know all the rest of them, Halloween Havoc, all that sort of stuff. But this is like Vince's reply to saying, "Oh, we need to do like a pay-per-view, and we're going to try and do it a bit cheaper."
Yeah, definitely. And they did $15, which realistically America is dead cheap for a pay-per-view. Even for 1995. So Bret and Akushi go into this match with pretty much no heat other than Bret got attacked on Superstars by Akushi.
And he done a moonsault.
Yes,
off the podium for no reason onto the concrete.
No reason at all. No reason.
Let's not leave that to the match. I just want to do that, just out of nowhere. I'm just going to jump here, and then I'm just going to do a moonsault on you instead of just I don't know what the thinking was there. Can I just say, the tattoos on his body is I believe them just paint. Is it just painted on? I think
Doc Hendricks put them over as real.
Did he? Them real then? Wow.
I doubt they are, but he does put them over as real.
That is some dedication. That is. But even if it ain't real.
Yeah.
How much time he's got to sit there and to be fair, throughout the match, you can watch the match back. Nothing even comes off him.
Nothing.
You got Sting in his matches.
Yeah.
Blonde hair with his crow look. He's got half of his face paint hanging off like he's come out to a waxwork.
He probably used Poundland paint, didn't he?
It's probably his Poundland paint. There you go.
That's the problem with
the reason why.
Face painted wrestlers.
Just put a mask on, bro. You know what I mean?
Just put a mask on, bro. Literally. So Bret's coming out, and Vince puts the fact over that Akushi is undefeated in the WWF up until this point. Spoiler alert. But then out of nowhere, I see Tony Schimmel.
Yeah.
The rated R superstar being the guy that takes Bret's jacket. I'm just looking at him going, "You're a ring announcer."
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing it? Why is Howard Finkel having to do this? He's the big four. He's the big four ring announcer. Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
The match goes 14 minutes and 39 seconds with Bret over with a victory roll. What did you make of this one?
You know what? To be honest, I think it was good. I think purely because he's got Brett in there, and you can tell, from myself, working matches, you've probably picked it up as well. Brett called everything in that ring, and there was a lot of times that Akushi, either missed a spot or he'd done the wrong thing. There was language barriers, I don't know, but there was a few botches in there. Nothing noticeable. It's only when you really, you can see. I think at one point Bret Hart was going for an arm drag, but Akushi done a big Undertaker flying shoulder block or something. But you can tell because they run the same spot, after you put them in an arm bar. So them sorts of things you can pick up. But it was good. It was a good opener. It did what it needed to do. It got the crowd a bit, got the blood pumping. It got the, and Bret's music only has to play, and the crowd are popping. At this point, he's like, he couldn't do anything wrong. He couldn't do even when he was a heel, he couldn't really do anything wrong.
I absolutely agree. Yeah, there's a little bit of theme throughout the night, and I think this is just the difference of 1995 wrestling versus today's wrestling, for example. I think one of the things that I picked up throughout the card is no one really goes for a pin when they've got their opponent down. Akushi was, he had Brett was down after whatever move he just delivered, and then he would look to the crowd. He wouldn't go for a pin. He would turn away to get the heat, and it was just like, okay, but you're undefeated. You've got a former World Wrestling Federation champion in the ring. Why are you not pinning him to get yourself over even more? And I guess it was just the mentality and the psychology of the time.
Exactly. If I was in that position, I'd be doing it. Even if he hadn't talked about it, I'd be doing it. Even if he kicked out someone, it don't matter. I'd be going for it because you need, you've got to try and put yourself over. And if you're undefeated, you need to show that what's your aim here? Are you trying to win, or are you there to are you trying to beat somebody up? What angle are you going in at?
Yeah.
I don't think you went in at any sort of angle really. You either keep trying to pin somebody or you're trying to destroy somebody. Do you know what I mean? Where you don't want to go for the pin and you keep breaking up your own pins, etc. But like you said, he didn't even go for he probably went for a couple of pins after big moves. That's probably organised, but I'd have definitely gone for a few more pins, definitely.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think, doing this podcast venture, I don't think we'll talk a lot about Akushi. As he wasn't really around much longer. My last memory of him is the 1996 Royal Rumble off memory. Like that's when I remember him last, sort of on an event. So he probably faded out not long after that. But they needed 30 guys, right? So hey Akushi, how are you? Also,
got your gear in the car?
Dory Funk Jr. was in that match, so he speaks for itself. There was a lot of people going into Rumbles back then that didn't really have a place for it in the Rumble. So bear in mind, we're probably not going to talk about Akushi much anymore, and I guess we've summarised him a little bit around his tattoos and so on. But what's your takeaway on Akushi?
You know what? I think I personally don't remember Akushi. Seeing him now, maybe some vague memories, but probably not I couldn't pinpoint into a match like you can.
Do you reckon it's a lot to do with his manager?
What, Mr. Whiteface?
Whiteface? He looks like the Asian $1 Million Man.
He reminds me of somebody out of remember Big Trouble in Little China, is he?
Like Jackie Chan. No. yeah.
The demon, like the Mortal Kombat Raiden looking man.
Yeah,
it reminds me of somebody like him.
Okay.
What a crazy man. And he's dressed in a full white tuxedo. Everything's white.
Everything.
What's going on there?
I don't know.
It's all clean.
Very. No shit stains there. No shit stains there,
nice.
Folks. So Brett goes over with a victory roll to get back on track because apparently politics. And Dave Meltzer from the Wrestling Observer gives this 3.75 stars.
Really?
Now, this match is talked about quite a lot, and over this weekend, I've seen a list published by WWE that includes this as a must-watch match from all of the In Your Houses.
It's a good match. It is a good match, to be fair.
But is it that good?
Not that good.
Okay. I
wouldn't say out of how many in your houses was that? Was it 20?
Yeah,
20 something over the period.
Let's just say 20 to round it up, but definitely around that number.
Out of what, don't forget, Shawn Michaels ain't on this pay-per-view.
Exactly.
Mankind ain't on this pay-per-view. Triple H ain't on this pay-per-view. Stone Cold would have been around this point and before his big push, but he ain't on the pay-per-view.
No.
So there's a lot of big stars missing. To be fair, The Rock, when there's a lot of big stars that ain't on this pay-per-view. So out of all the future ones,
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker, exactly.
It's crazy.
I just want to know what the thinking was behind that. So if you've got this massive launch of this is the premiere, this is the, at what point did he say, oh well, it's like, I don't know, it's like going into a football Champions League match and saying, oh, it's a big match, but let's just leave them out. Who are the rest of them for? For Raw? Do you know what I mean? They could have put these people on Raw. Do you know what I mean? And have the big pay-per-view.
So, I was going to mention this a little bit later when we come on to King Mabel versus Adam Bomb, in terms of match placement and so on and so forth for the card. Now, you've just mentioned what are you saving them for and so on and so forth. So there was 3 dark matches on this night. Only one of them was recorded. And that was the British Bulldog versus Owen Hart in a King of the Ring qualifying match as well, that went to a 15-minute time limit draw. That was shown on June 6th episode of Raw, I believe. And then you have The Undertaker versus Karma from the $1 Million Corporation, which was his rivalry at the time. The Undertaker had just come off a win against King Kong Bundy at WrestleMania 11. And then he was working his way through the $1 Million Corporation, as he was from the beginning of the year and the end of the previous year. So why is that not on a pay-per-view?
Exactly. So they've obviously pre-taped these, and obviously, like you said, to release as a match that people think that it's on another program. But like I say, why? Why? There's only 5 matches on this pay-per-view as well. A few of these matches you could, this Bret Hart and Akushi match, you could have took 5 minutes off that easily.
Yeah.
It didn't have the same effect. You could have still fit, the stuff that they did in there, and it still wouldn't have looked rushed. You could have trimmed 5 minutes off that. You could have trimmed a few minutes off. You could have totally left the Mabel Atom Bomb match off totally, but that's another story. You can trim minutes off here and there and everywhere, and you can fit in another match. And why not put the Undertaker on the match? And put the Undertaker on your poster. That's the draw. That's why you release posters, and that's why you get pay-per-view buys.
Definitely in 1995, when the business was taking a downward fall before it started picking back up before the Attitude Era.
Yeah.
So leaving draws off your pay-per-view and off your poster seems like business suicide to me.
It's crazy. I don't know why you would have done it. To launch, because it's the launch as well. It's the first show.
Yeah.
And then maybe just fill the rest of the shows in with whatever you want. But get that name in your mouth, in your house.
Yeah.
Get it on your brain. Get it talking. But you can pick apart the few matches that was on here, and like you said, the Akushi Bret Hart match. It's ain't like an old time classic, I would say, but chuck a few of your bigger stars in. Don't let Bret do 2 matches, first of all. What's the point?
Definitely.
You know what I mean? There's a spot there. There's a spot there for one of your baby faces.
Exactly. We'll come on to Bret's second match in a little bit. So my star rating on this one, I'm going to go a lot lower than Dave Meltzer. I'm going to go 2.5 stars. What about you?
See, I didn't research the stars.
That's what I'm giving you, brother.
I know. That's why I wanted my own influence, I didn't want to think,
definitely.
So I didn't do that. I just wanted to do it on my own and see how it compared. So I'd done 3 stars, to be fair.
Okay.
It was a good opener. It was a good match, but nowhere near. I don't think. There's some good stuff in there, but
it's a fair rating. It's a fair rating,
and that's only because you got Bret Hart in it.
Exactly, and it's a solid opener for that reason.
Yeah,
realistically. So after the bell, Bret goes to leave, and he appears to injure his knee, which becomes sort of a common theme throughout the night, because then you see Todd Pettingale, our friend again, in the 1900 room where they're getting people to call in to make some money. I think you've got.
Did you see them two people at the front?
Alundra Blaze.
Did you see them?
Yeah. Totally going for it, weren't they?
Yeah. I don't know who they're talking to, but I don't know what they were saying either. Because like, if you start to like lip read what they're saying, it's just like, come on,
Stan Lane. So the two people that were there in front at the table are Stan Lane, who was some sort of enhancement talent from that period, and the women's champion Alundra Blaze, who is now a Hall of Famer. And you've got
after putting the belt in the bin on Nitro.
That's when she moved over. That was a little bit later down the line. But currently, she was the WWF Women's Champion. And again, she probably could have gone on this card realistically, but she didn't. And King is begging Todd for the match to start with Brett now, because he obviously thinks that Brett's injured and he wants to take advantage of him.
Yeah.
So what did you make of these little segments in between?
I think it's good. I think a lot of that gets missing. Nowadays, I think it's good to fill the time obviously needed to reset the ring or reset production or something. I don't know why they do it, but obviously it's to fill in the gaps and to see what, and just bring more people in and bring Jerry Lawler into the picture. It's the first time you really see him, and to build that story and what's he talking about and why is he all like running around like an headless chicken. But I think it's good. I love it. I'm into these sorts of like little segments, and as long as they're done properly, and But back in the day, it's corny and it's cheesy, and that's what people love so much about it. And would it work now? I don't know, because obviously people are a bit spoilt on production and techno stuff, and I don't know. And the old corridor walking towards a camera, getting stopped. That's, I don't know how many times I have to see that, but these sorts of stuff, it works. It gets the points across.
All of the cheese, brother. All of the cheese.
All of it.
So then we go over to Stephanie Wiand, siphoning through 300,000 entries into winning the house. That there's a big glass case outside the front of the set that has got all the entries from across North America for this goddamn.
With security guards. In case somebody comes and wants to pinch a letter,
and they show the video, don't they, before they reveal the house?
The security van.
A bit like it's a Grand Theft Auto heist at this point. And then you've got estate agents. I'm guessing they were never really revealed to be whatever.
Oh, is that what they are? But you're probably right there. Yeah.
They were there to reveal that it was all above board, weren't they?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
we're good. Yeah, we're good. That was his line.
Yeah.
That was his line.
Yeah,
and he said it. He said it well, to be fair. But then Jeff Jarrett music just cuts her off mid-sentence. Yeah. No fucks given.
No.
Jeff Jarrett starts walking to the ring with the roader.
Yeah. Time's up.
What's the point?
Show on the road. Yeah.
Kevin Dunn at it again. So obviously we know that these two are going to take on Rey Mysterio as Rey Mysterio. I haven't even been drinking. Razor Ramon, the bad guy, Razor Ramon, in a handicap match. Now, basically, Jeff Jarrett beat Razor Ramon at the 1995 Royal Rumble, and their story's been going on since then. And here they are in your house. There's a little bit of an altercation shown on a highlight package with the 1, 2, 3 Kid, and then Aldo Montoya, and the 1, 2, 3 Kid's on the phone speaking to Vince, saying he wish he was there, and so on and so forth. What did you make of these telephone conversations?
It's just like proper 1995, ain't it? Just like
amazing.
You can just imagine like 1, 2, 3 Kid standing in like a phone booth somewhere with his quarters, like, I ain't got time. You know what I mean? And like, it just shows like how much like pre-social media, how you had to get your stuff across. Nowadays like WWE they can share videos, and you got the network. Back then you got the newspapers that can easily accessible online. Back then you never had anything. You had to go and walk down to the shop to buy a magazine. You know what I mean? You had to subscribe. It was completely different. So they used everything that they had at the time to get it across, and I think it was good. To be fair, they had they used what they had.
They definitely did. Shout out to the ref in this one, Mike Yoda. I didn't mention the ref for the last one, but the ref in the last one was Tim White, I believe. Let's just go with that.
It's the one with the beard. Yeah.
Tim White. That's who I think the referee was. But Mike Yoda.
These refs have been here for years as well.
Absolutely. Mike Yoda is like one of my all-time favourite refs, and obviously recently released from the WWE. So shout out to him. Now, what do you reckon of this match? What do you make of it?
It is what it is, ain't it? I think, Razor Ramon is just like, Scott Hall's an amazing talent. Absolutely amazing. This is obviously like pre-downfall, drugs, alcohol, that happened like later on. But, back, if you watch it back and you just look at this, the crowd reaction when his music plays, he hasn't even got the best music. The music is wicked. I love Razor Ramon's music.
It's that intro.
There's no... Yeah,
it's as iconic as Brett and Shawn's and Stone Cold and The Rock.
Exactly.
It's that iconic.
Exactly. So there's no Motorhead that you have now. There's no, all these, rock bands and stuff. It's basically like a proper Jim Johnson, like.
Shout out to Jim Johnson. Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's a proper classic Jim Johnson track, and there's nothing to it. But you know what? The pop he absolutely gets is amazing. You watch the crowd, absolutely amazing. And he doesn't even do anything. He don't run around. He don't run and slide into the ring like John Cena. He just comes out, and he's just like dead cool.
Dead cool.
Got amazing pyro when he gets in the ring.
Oh, the best.
That's one. It's amazing. Comes from both angles.
It's dead cool. I mean? Like literally. Like
exactly.
When you create a superstar on WWE 2K, whatever, you're using that pyro when you get in the ring. No matter what entrance you choose, that's what you're using. Fact.
Definitely.
So it goes 12 minutes 40.
Mm-hmm. To be fair, Razor's put a shift in, ain't he? He's a big lad. The Roddy and Jeff Jarrett have a bit of a an advantage to being tagged in and out, having a bit of a breather. But, I don't know what point in his career Roddy was. I know he was, relatively experienced. I think this is when he was just starting to get into because he was the manager at one point, wasn't he? And he was just, doing the valeting and stuff like that. But this is, you can tell it's just the start as well. But to be fair, it's a decent match. It's, there's a lot of heat in this match as well. Obviously, with a 2-on-1, 2 heels on one, you've got to have a lot of heat. But
I'll be honest with you, I enjoyed it.
Pretty solid. Yeah, it's a pretty solid match, to be fair.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I can't even sugarcoat the fact that I can't lie about enjoying it or not enjoying it. I should say.
No, I enjoyed it. Yeah,
I genuinely enjoyed this match. It's definitely one of the better matches on the card, that's for sure. It's all pretty much downhill from here, folks. I can assure you of that.
Switch off now.
Switch off now. We're done. So Dave gives it 3 stars. What have you give it?
I'll get 3 stars as well.
So have I. I agreed. Yes. I did agree with Dave. So yeah, 3 stars for me on this one too.
I think it was a solid match. Yeah. But like I say, there's only so much you can do with it because you got a tag team match. You can do hot tags. You can do anticipation. There's only so much beating that the audience want to see a person take. And then obviously Razor goes over and the pop's there, so they've done exactly what they needed to do.
Yeah.
But obviously there's a lot of heat in it, so you can only have so much.
Definitely.
You can't do so much with that type of match.
And I think the story comes after the match really to develop this feud even more. So, like you say, Razor goes over with the Razor's Edge on the roadie.
What a move! What a move, by the way.
He actually pins Jeff, and what a move. And then he goes for it on Roddy, but then Jeff takes his knee out.
Gets cut off,
Yeah, there you go. And then they're 2-on-1 him, stick him in the figure 4, and then Aldo Montoya comes to the rescue. Unfortunately, the Portuguese warrior, also known as Just Incredible. Well, unfortunately, pal, You were a bit of a jobber here, mate. So in your form and out you go.
What gear that is as well. That gear is amazing. Yeah, it's like the brightest gear you'll ever see in your life.
He's probably the only recognised Portuguese wrestler in the world.
Right. All right, it's okay. Really?
Can you name another one?
Shoot.
Can you? Like, I'm talking WWE level. I'm not talking our level, because I know we know somebody that's Portuguese, but I'm talking someone that got to WWE, WCW, ECW, AEW, and there probably is someone out there. I'm missing somebody, so I apologise if I am missing you. But I'm to be fair, about in your house one WWF.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. Yeah.
You went registering with me. Just Incredible, who is an American or a Canadian, whichever one you are, is being portrayed as a Portuguese warrior. And to this day, the Portuguese probably still believe he's the greatest Portuguese wrestler to ever live.
There you go. It's all a lie. It's all a lie.
And do you know what his backstory is, Mark? Do you know what it is?
What, for being a Portuguese sensation?
Well, he's a Portuguese warrior, but do you know what he is before? Before he started wrestling, he was a Portuguese soccer star, but he had to wear the mask so the Portuguese wouldn't recognise him.
Only in 1995. Oh my God.
I love it.
That's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I didn't know that, and that's just made my day.
Well, I'm glad I could help make you day. But let's be honest, he disappears, and then all of a sudden, someone jumps out the crowd and just starts fighting people. The referees turn up, the police turn up, the security turn up, and people are thinking, what the hell is going on? There's a bit of a stunned silence in the arena, but then Razor's like, oh, do you know what? I know him. He's cool. And then they walk to the back. It's cool. He's with me.
He's with me.
And it turns out that it's the debut of Savio Vega. What did you think of Savio Vega?
I love his name.
Yeah, it's a good.
But like, obviously, because of Vega, like Street Fighter. I think ever since I've come across that name, I think it's just a wicked name. Savio Vega, he looks the part, man. He's got the check shirt.
He has.
He's got the jeans. He's got the boots. He's got the chains. He's got, he looks like a beast. He's got the buzz cut. The generic create your own superstar in WWE buzz cut. He looks good, man. He looks, he's banging people over the top rope. He's body slamming people. He's on Jeff Jarrett, UFC punching him. Referees are all over the place and people are jumping in the ring.
Stop the damn match.
What an entrance.
What an entrance.
What an entrance. If you was obviously watching this live, you'd come, he's coming into the, and he's got he's nearly crying, he's spitting all over the place. You're thinking, wow, what a guy. What an absolute beast.
Yeah.
So from first impressions, he looks good.
I'm glad they decided to unmask him. So he's wrestling under the gimmick Kwang before this. And I'm just so glad that Kwang disappeared and Savio Vega was finally born, because he gave us a good 4 to 5 years with Savio Vega, and he was pretty decent, let's be honest.
And going back to the why is the mask wrestler better than the face paint wrestler? If he had face paint on, I'd know it was him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very, very true.
He had a mask on. Nobody knew it was him.
It's almost
just
like
Incredible reinvented himself.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like I've debated this somewhere else somewhere.
Exactly. Sting starts showing up about face paint on the bloke. Oh no, that's Sting, man. What's he doing? He's got no face paint on.
That's the Stinger.
Yeah.
No, that's Steve. Okay. All right.
Mr. Borden to you.
Yeah, Mr. Borden, that's it. You could probably do a Mr. Borden gimmick. That would be pretty decent.
Yeah, proper IRS style, like.
Yeah, full on IRS, and shout out to him as well. What a legend. Again, not involved on this pay-per-view, still working for the company at the time, I believe, before he switched over to WCW. Now, they plugged the King of the Ring next, so they show the advert. It was a dead cheesy box office advert, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Like, jesters.
Proper VHS.
Yeah. Coliseum home video, you name it, it's there. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Yes.
What do we get next? We get I'm just trying to work out what we get. Other than the bloke in the crowd trying to sell a Bret the Hitman Hart t-shirt.
Yeah.
Which he didn't do a good
Full
job
print.
of that, did he? Yeah.
Full print.
Full print.
It said 7,000 in attendance, and he found the 3 people that had the Bret Hart t-shirts on.
Yeah.
Like, and he thought he was on to a winner, like.
They're wearing it. I better get up there. I can't even think of this guy's name. I think it was Jack or Jim or something. And like, I don't ever remember this guy. I don't ever remember him. And then he tries to plug it to the story. How's Bret's knee, Vince? And then all of a sudden, like music hits again.
Surprise.
Yeah. And it turns out that it's Mabel who is on his way to the ring to shut that shitstorm down. And we're just about going in our minds that a wrestler's coming to the ring to save the day because he hasn't got a clue what he's doing up there in the crowd. And then Adam Bomb walks out. And before I shoot on this, I need to know what you thought.
First of all, like Mabel, Big Daddy V, back, in his future years, he with us no more, but, God bless him. He's a big guy. And like being a big guy myself, like I know how hard it is to, you need your cardio, you need to be fit. It ain't just about chucking people around and just sitting down and getting back up and lying down. It's hard work, and obviously you know yourself, and a lot of people, who work in the ring know exactly what it's like. And this guy is a big guy, and he don't do much. I understand that, but to do what he can do with his size, he's an absolute, like, you've got to respect that, and you've got to you've got to admire that in a way. He's got a good look. He's a big, mean-looking, goldy coat, glitter-wearing mohawk beast with a bodyguard who looks like he's just, come out of the security of KFC or something. I don't know. And he looks mean. He's got a gold tooth. He's got, he's a big guy. Atom Bomb.
Atom Bomb.
That's it.
Adam Bomb.
But it's supposed to be like it sounds like Atom Bomb. He's got a bloody bomb, Atom Bomb as a pyro behind him.
Yeah.
Come on. He's got goggles around his neck they don't even wear.
No. He don't protect himself.
He don't. He's got PPE there. People are crying out for PPE. He's got it around his neck and he ain't even bloody using it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? What a waste.
I think Adam Bomb was Brian Clark, right? So Brian Clark.
Back in WCW later on.
Yeah, there you go. Went to WCW and he was in a tag team. He did quite well as a tag team. I'm sure he did. And then they even had him back after they brought WCW. They even had him back for a bit. I'm sure they did.
I didn't know that. I'll have to research that.
Yeah, I did a bit of research into Brian Clark. Apparently, he got arrested in like 2014 or something. So he's doing well for himself.
He's handled it well then, yeah.
He's handled it well. And
you know what?
He tried to sue the WWF. WWE.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, concussions, all of that stuff.
Oh, so like he don't took his chin, but he's suing Vince McMahon for putting him in the match.
Yeah, definitely. So
yeah, that sounds good.
I'll be honest, this is a shit show, and there's no other way of sugarcoating this. It's 1 minute 53 seconds, and it's probably one of the worst wrestling matches I've ever had the pleasure of sitting through. And that pre-match attack, right? So let me tell you, Mabel's 1995 very, very quickly. So at the Royal Rumble, he's dancing around with Sermo as men in a mission, right? And then they go, oh, fuck, we need a heel. We need a monster heel to take on Diesel sometime down the line. We got that big guy, Mabel. We got that big son of a bitch. We'll just turn him heel. That'll work. That's our SummerSlam main event. What were you thinking?
Yeah.
You've put King Mabel, who spoiler alert, wins this match because he wins the King of the Ring in 1995, and then to go on and face Diesel in the shittiest match in Diesel's career at SummerSlam 95 for the World Wrestling Federation Championship. What the hell were they thinking, doing what they did? I'm lost.
You know, the thing that I don't get is like Vince McMahon at this point is commentating.
Yeah.
So he's not in the back. He's not gone to the toilet. He's not having a cup of tea. You know, he's not. He can see everything. He's sitting ringside, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? He can see everything. He can hear everything. He can hear the crowd's reaction firsthand. So at this point, like, he's got to be so switched on with what people are thinking and what's happening in front of him. And he ain't stupid. He knows what sells and what don't. Obviously, because it's been around for years. But you know, it boggles me. And I'm just watching the match now, Rob. To be fair, and
you're watching all 1 minute 53 of this.
While I'm talking, like, you know, half the match has gone.
How bad is he strikes for a big dude?
And it's a shame because he looks the part. Like, Adam Bomb looks the absolute part, and Mabel does. He does a slingshot, clothesline from the outside to the inside.
Yeah,
what an absolute bag of shite.
And the psychology behind this 1 minute and 53 seconds also baffles me, because Mabel gets taken down to the outside.
Yeah.
So Adam Bomb is still looking extremely strong in such a short amount of time. But this is your next number one contender for SummerSlam against Diesel, the champion that you're sticking with. You could have switched it back to Brett. You could have. You should have. You didn't. You decided to do that later on in November. But at this present moment in time, you stuck with Diesel. Diesel power all the way. And that's what you give him at SummerSlam. It's disgraceful. It's
and Mabel does like he reverses. He switches and reverses an Irish whip into the corner. And in the ring, I do a spinning world kick. And I'm a big guy. I know it's not massively difficult to do, but the absolute shite that he puts on when he does a spinning wheel kick. If you watch it back, oh my God! And then the match is over before he does a body slam. He catches him in the crossbody slam.
It's like the world's strongest slam, and it's a little bit like that in terms of Mark Henry, and it's over in literally 1 minute 53 seconds. But as much as he has passed away, Nelson Fraser Jr. He passed away in 2014. So thank you for everything that you did for the wrestling industry during your time. But this match and this year was not one of Mabel's highlights, unfortunately. So I'm sorry to shoot from the hip, but this was the worst match on the card, and I give it 0 stars. Dave Meltzer give it 0.75.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Why did he do that? I'm more interested in that than the actual match itself.
Yeah, there needs to be some justification behind that. I haven't signed up.
If I could have done negative, I could have done negative stars, I'd have done. I'd give it nothing.
Yeah,
nothing.
So we're on par. I didn't sign up to the Wrestling Observer to get the full match report. I just googled his stars. I'm not gonna lie. So that was terrible. But thankfully we move on from there, and we go into another great match that was on this card, and it's for the Tag Team Championships. It's a rematch from WrestleMania 11. The Smoking Guns are in the ring. Before they can get to the match, though, the King comes out again. And it's another segment where the King is begging Pat Patterson and another road agent to get Brett down here so they can start the match. Yeah. The Smoking Guns are going, nah.
If I was one of the Smoking Guns, if I was like Bart or Billy, I would have been absolutely fuming. Because you've got so you've got a tag team title match. You're on TV. It's the launch of this big event. And you've got Jerry the King Lawler coming out, taking all your TV time. Yep. So all the audience is on the King.
Yeah.
When you even watch the show back, the cameras aren't even on the Smoking Guns. It's on the King.
They're already in the ring.
So them in the ring, just standing there going, well, "What's going on?"
Yeah. And in the dark.
I would move the spotlight. I'd have been absolutely fuming, and I'm sure there was. There was.
There must have been, because Pat Patterson says, "Get out of here! You're on later. I booked it this way. You're on later."
Yeah.
And he sends him to the back. He sends him packing, and then we hear, Yokozuna's music, which at the time in '95, it was an iconic sound, and the reason for that is because he'd spent some time as the champion. WrestleMania 9, WrestleMania 10. We've just seen WrestleMania 11 where he's returned to team with Owen Hart and take the tag team championships away from the Smoking
What a team!
Guns. What a team indeed!
What a team!
Now,
who put them together? How did that come about?
I don't know. I mean, obviously, I think at the time the British Bulldog was working babyface still. So he wasn't partnered with Owen. Now, the Camp Cornette that I know and love was Bulldog Owen before they go into the Hart Foundation.
Yeah.
But at the time, this was Camp Cornette with Jim Cornette managing, Mr. Fuji managing, Yokozuna, Owen Hart, tag team champions. And Yokozuna, so basically, Yokozuna had lost in a casket match, I believe, at the Survivor Series 94 to The Undertaker and disappeared for a bit, or he beat The Undertaker. One of the two, I don't know, I can't remember. But Yokozuna disappeared from November to April, WrestleMania. His goal during that time, lose weight. Objective failed. He turns up bigger than he ever looked before. And you can visibly tell during this match just how much of a toll moving about is taking on him.
Like, I don't want to skip to the end of the match just yet. I just want to say that, obviously, towards the end of the match, like, Yokozuna is just holding him. He's using the ring to hold himself up.
Yeah.
Gasping for air. Like, obviously, at the start of the match, he's a bit more fresher, but he doesn't even do much either, Rob, to be fair. No. He doesn't do much in the match. He takes a bit, gives a bit. Nothing major. And he's gasping for air. And like you say, it's crazy.
So it goes. It goes 5 minutes and 44 seconds, and that's how he was looking after the match. He's like trying to fight to get backstage, isn't he? Like as soon as that match is done, he's out of there.
Yeah, I'm watching it, and like he's done the first showing, so he was in first.
Yeah.
And I can see him standing on the apron, literally like wiping the sweat away.
Yeah. And it just gets worse as it goes along. I mean, Billy and Bart, it's a shame from here, really.
Yeah.
So there's one bit in the match I need to call out though, because we've just talked about Mabel doing a spinning heel kick. Owen Hart does an excellent spinning heel kick in this match. Vince McMahon on commentary, I shit you not, compares it to Mabel's.
I must have missed that. Did he really?
He did.
I didn't even see that. Wow.
He went, "We saw one of them in the Mabel match," and I'm going, "You really want to call that out so people can compare?"
Why have you not forgot about that? Why have you not erased it from history like another, like a Canadian crippler that I shouldn't mention? Erase it from history.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Don't even mention that again.
Yeah,
if I was him, I'd have gone backstage and I'd have been like, "Tell Mabel I want to see him when I get back."
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, put him on the.
Don't compare Owen Hart, one of the best technical wrestlers. I think Owen Hart has got like the technicality of like the Hart. The dynasty that the Hart have got, because obviously they're trained in the dungeon, they know the technicals, the holds. But Owens like surpasses, I think, like Brett and like even Pillman in a way. As far as the Hart Foundation, but for his athletic abilities, like he's above the rest in my eyes. Yeah. He's got the technicality, and he's got, like you say, he can master an enziguri. He can master the the spinning wheel kick. He does an amazing calf kick.
Anything.
Top rope. It's a real shame for Owen Hart. Obviously, that everybody knows the way that went down. But what a talent! What an absolute talent! And luckily for Yokozuna, Owen Hart was in this match.
Yeah, very.
I think if he come back in a one-on-one match, he'd be absolutely fucked.
Yeah, done.
He'd be fucked.
Done. Wouldn't be. He wouldn't have lasted as long as he did. In terms of his career in WWF.
No.
Another one who's sadly passed away now as well, Yokozuna, as well as Owen Hart, as we've mentioned. The Dark Side of the Ring episode with Owen Hart, I don't know if you've had the chance to watch it yet, but
I watched it the other night, actually.
That was emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah, check it
and
out.
fair play to his wife. Fair play to his
So.
wife. Very, she don't care about the, these accolades, and she's sticking by her guns, and fair enough. She's got massive payouts off it, like obviously, but she's still sticking to her guns, and she's saying you ain't putting him in the Hall of Fame, So, but like I say, if you ain't watched it, then it's a good watch.
It's definitely a good watch, and it's an eye opener for sure, without a doubt. So Dave gives this, I'm gonna say 2 stars. Yeah, he gives it 2 stars. The finish is a terrible leg drop on the outside from Yokozuna on Bart Gunn. Rolls him back in, throwing to finish. 1, 2, 3, and they are out of there.
Can I just say, before Yokozuna drops that leg drop, like Bart Gunn goes for like a crossbody, and now he ducks out the way.
Yeah.
What a bump that was! Like, fair play to Bart Gunn for doing that. That could have gone. That could have gone anyway.
Yeah, he was putting his body on the line with that bump. That is for sure.
Yeah.
So I've rated this one 1 star.
I'll put 2 actually. So I'm glad me and the Melts are on the same page.
You and Dave are pretty much, you're on par here with your ratings. I kind of like this. It feels like I'm speaking to an expert of rating matches.
I've honestly, I haven't even looked. I've done it off what I thought it'd be. I think for the time, obviously, it's only lasted 5 minutes, so a bit longer, a bit more content, maybe a bit more. But Yokozuna just failed miserably in that match.
Dead unfortunately. Like I say, Owen was in a dark match with a British Bulldog that went 15 minutes, so that probably had a lot to do with the time of this match, as well as Yokozuna's health. But he felt about right the way that Yokozuna was looking. We go straight from Yokozuna walking off to Big Daddy Cool Diesel, the WWF champion, being interviewed by, you guessed it, Todd Pettingale. And
got the same hair, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got the same hair, haven't they? The first thing that Diesel says is Happy Mother's Day. Now, he also talks about this being the first Mother's Day without his own mom. So he gets pretty raw here in this promo. And this is the time period where they've switched from it being all about Diesel the character, and they want to bring a bit of Kevin Nash into the fold. Hence why Kevin Nash Diesel is allowed to go on about the fact that he lost his mom during this promo. What did you make of that?
Yeah, it's like refreshing to see like Kevin Nash like actually interested in something as well. Yeah. Like from what I can remember as well, like back in the WCW days, when he's obviously in the NWO and the Wolfpack, and because he was obviously booking and stuff at that time in WCW, obviously later on 97, 98, 99, 2000s. He wasn't really interested, was he? He was getting himself over, and he was doing everything that he could. He's just selfish in that way, which, if he's given the power, he took it and he ran with it, So it's good to see a fresh face, Kevin Nash, if you like, actually like give a decent promo, like even on the WCW Nitro game and the Thunder game, on the PlayStation 1. Like if you can go into their like character selection and like look at the rant, and they do like a little promo before you select the character. Even on that, he's a bit like, oh, you don't want to pick me? Go on. Oh, okay. It's just, but like, come on, mate. This that was his WCW obviously later on past this, but it's good to see him, give a bit of, of emotion and a bit of feeling.
Yeah, I think
really looked.
As soon as he delivers the Mother's Day sort of speech around that, he then sort of quickly switches to a little bit of a promo on Sid, and then he's like, "How long we got? About an hour?" And he's dead pumped. And I'm like, "Well, that's a change." Also, you're running half an hour. Todd give you the wrong time, buddy.
Get your boots on now, kid.
Yeah. This wrist tape gimmick needs to stop. Your boots are on, mate. You ain't going out. Oh, Diesel. And he talks about Henry Godwinn in this promo as well. The $1 Million Corporation have hired a pig farmer to take out the World Wrestling Federation champion. That was the breaking news from this promo as well.
Okay.
So, talk about content. Oh God. Where do we go? Where do we go from here? We go to the King in the ring. We actually get Jerry the King Lawler, has music playing. He goes into the ring and he is with his mom, apparently, as Vince McMahon puts over on the mic, or Doc Hendricks. And what are we greeted with, Mark? What are we greeted with?
The King's mom is hot.
Hot.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
No, not hot damn 2020, but
no.
hot damn 1995.
This, if I think if she was in 2020 era, same sort of age, she'd probably be a mess. Yeah. An absolute mess. Mm. She'd have had all the lip fillers and the fake everything. And
we get the King in the ring, and you know, then we literally we're talking here. This is a rivalry, so he cuts a promo, which is hilarious. But this is something that goes back to the King of the Ring 1993. 2 years later, they're still having matches. Not consistent, just now and again picked back up as a rivalry. Where it almost feels like Bret's got nothing to do. We've just had him wrestle Bob Backlund at WrestleMania 11.
Yeah.
Oh, what can we do next month? He can't win the championship back yet because we're sticking with Diesel Power. So what can we have him do? Oh, we'll have him wrestle Akushi, and then we'll have him wrestle the King. Okay, so
let's just go back to page one and start all over again, and let's just like recycle everything else. You know what I mean?
Vince, we haven't tied up the storyline with Jerry the King Lawler from 1993. That's my Pat Patterson impression here, and it's absolutely terrible. But yeah, so we do get the King versus Bret Hart. Now before Bret goes out, he's cutting another promo. Now we've seen him icing his knee, we've seen him limping around, but now he's fresh as a daisy, and it was a ruse all along, Mart. A ruse all along.
Who'd have thought it? He come to the ring absolutely limping. He was in pain, and then he started jogging, and he's in pain. The King soon changed his face, didn't he, when he seen that he was all right. He was like, "What?"
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. The King played it brilliantly.
I just say the King, like the way the King sells the stuff on his face, he's so animated. It's unreal.
Amazing.
And he done that through his commentary, but in his wrestling, it was amazing.
There was one thing that pissed me off in this match. One thing. Now, the match only goes 5 minutes, 9 seconds, but Bret the Hitman Hart takes the pile driver off the King.
Yes.
And then he gets straight back up, and the King is almost like, "You've just buried my finish." Like, Bret hits him, and King sells it, but he's almost like, "Why am I fucking selling this? Because you just buried my finish." He was gutted.
Exactly.
You could sort of see it, couldn't you?
Like the pile driver, like you got to think for the time, like this is 25 years ago. The pile driver nowadays, obviously it's been banned now, I believe, from WWE, saying a move that gets used.
It's got to be done on concrete to mean anything these days.
Yeah, exactly. But back in the day, if somebody like the Jake the Snake DDT or a pile driver, that was a finish. That was nowadays it gets used as a comeback or a hope spot. You know what I mean? Back then it was a finish. So like you say, for somebody to just like get straight back up off a pile driver in this era, it's unheard of.
Yeah,
I think that's probably why
it was frustrating to watch, to say the least. And then Bret goes and gives King a pile driver, like it's his move, like it's his finish, and Bret's just been the one who's been disrespected.
Yeah.
Did Bret forget? Did Bret get so het up in his ego that he forgot that the King's finish was the pile driver? Is that what happened?
He probably did. It's hard to tell with Bret Hart because you don't know if he's shooting on him. You don't know if he's took stuff into his own hands because of his ego. And I think Bret's got an ego. You can come across in all these documentaries like he hasn't, and he was all screwed over, and it was the establishment's fault, and Shawn Michaels knew about everything and the screw job, all that sort of stuff. But Bret Hart's got an ego. If you can walk around and say that you're the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be, and absolutely mean it in your eyes, and mean what you say, that's not just a line. He actually means that.
Yeah,
if you can walk around and say that, then you need to have an ego.
It's real.
So it's hard to say whether he actually pile drived in because he thought, you know what, I'm going to get you back in here.
Yeah. I mean, I said it went for 5 minutes and 9 seconds, but let's be honest, the King and Brett sort of scrapped it out for about 3 minutes. Ebner, the referee, funny that it's Ebner, the referee in the match, gets tied up in the ropes, and Akushi comes down and for 2 minutes just plays about with Brett. And, you know, drops flying headbutts from here, there and everywhere.
And again, I'm sure, like, I believe flying headbutt's been banned. Is it been banned from WWE now because of the? I know, does Daniel Bryan still do it? Is it been banned? Is it not? Is it not?
I think he still does it, Daniel Bryan. Yeah.
Because of the concussions and all this Chris Benoit, concussion, the Brice Benoit.
That's the one.
The Brice Benoit one. Because obviously there's a big deal about concussions and the side that the flying headbutts caused that, and that's what the problem was with Daniel Bryan was. Yeah. But it comes out here, and Akushi just lays probably I think it's about 3 or 4 on him. It's like it's nothing.
It's ridiculous. You know? And then the referee finally comes round. The King picks Brett's legs up, and I'm thinking one move only. The King's going to put him in the sharpshooter to get him back for the pile driver, and
he's got to go with it. Bret Hart plays the game.
Yeah, he's dead, isn't he? He's dead. He's out.
Believes it. Yeah.
And then he just rolls. He rolls him up, and I'm obviously bitterly disappointed. And we get the 3 count, and the King goes over against Bret Hart. So 1-1 for Bret, 1 win, 1 loss on the night. Then the heels obviously just keep going, and then Bret miraculously comes back to life and sends them back in. No help needed.
Yeah. No. He's got to keep everybody happy, and he's got to, you know, Bret's so over in this era that how can Bret even like lose against, you know, Jerry the King Lawler, this you know, this horrible man who walks around and, you know, got this squeaky voice. So, you know, Bret can't lie on the mat and just, you know, roll out the ring after a loss. You know, he's always got to be back on top at the end, you know.
Yeah, it must be because King had his mom in attendance.
Maybe.
Who called out Helen Hart.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. And then I think Jerry the King Lawler says, I think she's here tonight. If you look around and see the one with the big wrinkled face, I don't know.
Or a bag of bones or something like that, yeah.
What a heel move.
He was great.
Brilliant.
He was great. He was fantastic.
Brilliant.
Dave gives it 1.5. I agree with that. I don't know about you.
I'll give it 2.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fair. I mean, it's around there, isn't it?
I think more on the story more than anything. You know, the content wasn't as, you know, it wasn't the best, but I think, you know,
throughout the card, the story's a massive part.
Yeah, I think they delivered, and the King, like I said, the King's animated in his approach, you know, and I think he's, you know, he sold the right stuff at the right time, and he's, you know, a proper veteran. You know, I think that's it shows. Yeah.
Fantastic, Jerry the King Lawler. Fantastic stuff. We then move on to the pre-main event, which is always the raffle on the independent shows in the UK. And this was a raffle. This was the house giveaway. We were giving away the house.
Who needs action figures? And encyclopedias and annuals at a normal raffle and T-shirts, free tickets. Who needs them?
You don't need
Chuck a house on the line.
Chuck
a house on the line.
Todd gets the number wrong to begin with on the phone call, which is absolutely hilarious. Stephanie's corpsing in the background. Vince is corpsing on the microphone. Doc Hendricks is talking about golf privileges. He's on the back of a golf course. It's just over the top TV, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. It's fantastic.
Hunters Creek. It's good. Who wants to live on? They're showing pictures of golf courses and trees with perfectly cut grass. You know, White House.
It's the American dream. This is
amazing. This is the dream.
They are giving away the American dream, and
not just an house, mate. Not just an house. It's a dream.
It's a dream, and 300,000 people entered into this. They finally get through to the person that they're giving it away, and it's clearly the dad of the child that's watching the pay-per-view, and the dad's like, "Are you serious?" And Todd's like, "Are you watching this?" And he was almost like, "Are you watching our pay-per-view?" Because
can I just say, before he gets the actual envelope out to phone them, like they do this sort of raking with these like garden rakes on top of it, like. So I'll feel sorry for like probably the 200,000 people underneath.
Yeah, never going to get a chance.
Like, no, they raked it. They moved probably about 60 or 70 envelopes, and then she picked one off the top.
I'll take that one. Not a deep dive like the Royal Rumble when they're looking for the ball.
I ain't having no paper cuts. I'm taking the one off the top, mate.
Crazy. So it turns out that the winner is from Nevada. The actual entrant was an 11-year-old kid. They showed on the May 22nd episode, so I think a week and a bit after this, the family that won it, and they presented the house down in Florida and everything else. 6 months later, they sold it for 175 grand.
Yeah, I read that.
That's good, that is.
So I wanted to know what they've done with the house.
They sold
it. I Googled it. I'm like, nah, I'll take the money instead.
Like, they won it, and they live the opposite end of the country, realistically, don't they? In terms of where Nevada is compared to where Florida is. So
I don't blame them.
They must have just gone, Disneyland's too expensive for us.
Yeah.
So although we've got a house, Disneyland's just too much.
Exactly.
175k for just sending off that post. That post back in the day, 95. Wow, that's got to be some investment, that has.
They got rid of the house. Got rid of the house. Crazy.
That 11-year-old must have been pissed.
Yeah.
Don't I get a say? Surely it's my house. I won the house.
Exactly. I wonder how much of that, like, that money that kid actually got, like, or did he just, he went straight to the parents because he was underage?
It was his college tuition or some shit, but let's be honest, it probably wasn't.
Nah, highly unlikely.
So we move on to the main event. Finally, we're here. It's Big Daddy Cool Diesel defending the WWF Championship against Psycho Sid. Now, the way this come about is WrestleMania 11. It was Diesel versus Sid. Diesel versus Shawn Michaels with Sid in his corner. Shawn explicitly blamed Sid the next night on Raw. Sid went, "Fuck you, buddy," and powerbombed him 3 times. According to the internet, he was legit injured at this point. I'm not sure how true that is, but he was injured. He was reported as injured. So you've got no Shawn Michaels on this card. We talked about it earlier. No Undertaker, no British Bulldog. The other dark match was John Pierre the Pirate, if you remember him, who used to be one of the fabulous Rougeau brothers.
Right, okay.
And he beat Bob Holly. So they were the 3. The Undertaker. There was 4 dark matches. Sorry, Bam Bam Bigelow, who WrestleMania 11 main event. He beat Tatanka. So you're missing all these people off the card. I guess my point is that Mabel and Sid, the way this worked out is they stole Bam Bam Bigelow's push as a heel. So they
no wonder he's pissed.
Because Sid then ended up, turning Shawn Michaels a babyface, and this is how it was. Once WrestleMania 11 was all said and done, the next day they had to rewrite 6 weeks of TV because Vince went to Pat Patterson and Bruce Pritchard, "Why didn't you tell me?" And they went, "Tell you what." And they went, "We got a babyface on our hands with that Shawn Michaels." And Bruce tells it as, "That's what we've been trying to tell you for 6 months, Vince."
Yeah. But it was Vince's idea, though.
And Vince is like, "You're ribbing me." He's a babyface. So that change there changes everything that happens in 1995 from then. And that's why we get a bad Bam Bam push, because realistically, I would have liked to have seen Bam Bam versus Diesel at SummerSlam 95. Bam Bam still being a heel rather than turning him babyface against the $1 million corporation.
Yeah.
So that one booking changed everything, and I'm pretty gutted about it because fantasy booking me, he's going, I would have preferred that 1995. So Sid versus Diesel for the championship in the first ever In Your House goes 11 minutes and 29 seconds. Probably fair for the big two men at this time. Diesel could definitely go longer with someone like Brett or Shawn, for example. But he was blowing up at WrestleMania 11 when he went a little bit longer with Shawn. And also, the one thing I need to call out in this match that really stood out is the way that Sid runs corners.
Can I just say what I'll put down?
Go for it.
Sid buckles like a bitch.
That is such an accurate description. Like he's turning halfway across the ring. It looks hilarious.
Mate, he does more back steps than he does. It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like you're in a title match.
Yeah.
With like, you're on a big stage. You're a big guy. You've got so much, like, you know, Vince is giving you this on a plate.
Yeah.
What are you doing stuff like that for?
Unbelievable. I mean, I wish that I could bring up a clip on this 1980s backdrop that I'm using to show.
What I'll do. I will, like, at some point throughout this video, obviously, there would have been video clips in.
Yeah.
And I will put a video clip right there.
Oh, fantastic.
Of Psycho Sid buckling like a bitch.
Love everything about it. Psycho Sid buckles like a bitch. And do you know what? I didn't have this memory of Psycho Sid buckling like a bitch. And do you know why? No. Because I think after this, they realised, oh shit, we shouldn't put him against somebody that can actually whip him. So we'll just put him against smaller guys that can't whip him. And that way,
so we can just counter it.
Like a dickhead.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
That's probably what the problem he had coming into the match. He's probably, you know, he's probably been the big guy. He's probably been the one that's, you know, the big guy, small guy match. And he's probably not had much experience with like a big on big guy match. So but it's not just the one time he does it. That was my first line. It's not just the one time he does it. No. I think Diesel whips him in a few times. And what the absolute it cringes me. It cringes me.
It is horrible.
It's horrible.
There's no other way of putting that. Psycho Sid takes a buckle like a bitch.
He does. And can I just say, Rob Van Dam takes a buckle like a bitch as well.
Yeah,
but that's probably another story.
Yeah.
He does the same sort. He does the same sort of thing, but not as bad as that.
But like lighter.
A bit lighter.
How can that even be possible?
Exactly.
But it is. So what did you think of this one? The main event.
What they've done is I think what's happened is they've gone inside and outside the ring so much in this match.
Yeah. It's
unreal. There's no real story to it. It's just back and forth, back and forth. Maybe the direction from Vince was, you know, the big guys. It's no, Vince likes big guys, and that's a well-known fact. So maybe he's told them, look, you need to get up and personal with the crowd, and the front row. Get in the faces, show them how big you are. It's a main event. Give them a show. I don't know if that was direction or it come from the guys themselves, but it was just inside, outside. It was typical big guy stuff.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen spitting on Diesel a few times. Spit his lip.
Just randomly.
As you do. Probably shooting on him, like.
Definitely shooting on him. Lost the plot and had a go at him. But it is what it is. So
I think so, yeah.
Tim White refs this one as well, so double duty for him on the pay-per-view. The only ref to do double duty. So shout out to him. Don't try and kill yourself on a skit from 2001 again.
First and last match, he needed a rest, don't he?
Definitely, just like Brett. And it ends with a DQ. And I think this is a theme for most of the In Your Houses in memory. A lot of them are used as another episode of Raw, really.
Yeah, just to build a story a bit, yeah.
Yeah, just to build for SummerSlam, King of the Ring at this point, because there was a big 5. And they're just sort of filler pay-per-view episodes.
Exactly, yeah. And I think they don't want to continue the story. They don't want to finish the stories. It's ain't that sort of a pay-per-view. It's not a story finishing pay-per-view. It's more of a this is what we can give you on the big pay-per-views. Tune in next time.
Yeah.
You know, you got the Raw, which will probably tell you a bit more promos and stuff. But this is the this is what's going to happen at SummerSlam, which I believe was the next one after this. And then this one's the ones that fill in. This is what's going to happen at Survivor Series. Tune in.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%, and that's what happened. So I can't think who come in, who did a running. I think it was Kama Mustafa. No, it was Tatanka, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Tatanka. Tatanka come in. He's one of the $1 Million Corporation, along with Kama Mustafa. That's what I thought of him. Ted DiBiase, IRS, King Kong Bundy at the time. All of them. That's their faction. And then Bam Bam come to make the save with Diesel. To interrupt their beatdown on the champion.
And they was kicking the shit out of Diesel on the floor.
They were kicking the shit.
Ted DiBiase, I read down as well. Ted DiBiase's got a full suit on. Yeah. He's absolutely pouring with sweat.
Yeah.
But he makes this match that little bit extra as well because he's got animation on the outside. Yeah. He's very animated. You know, he's clever as well because obviously he's been around a bit, so he knows exactly what to do.
He's great.
So he knows how to work the crowd and stuff. So he adds a lot to that match as well.
Yeah,
as much as you could do.
So underrated as a manager. He could have been a main event manager all day long. I mean, he is in the main event of In Your House. I'm not discrediting the fact that he is in the main event here, but he could have been in the main event at WrestleMania, the manager. Do you know what I mean? We've seen Stephanie McMahon do it in recent years with Triple H and so on and so forth. Ted DiBiase was that good for his time, and he was overlooked and he was let go by the WWF in late '96, early '97, whenever it was, which was a shame really. So Diesel does the old babyface finish. It's classic WWF to send us home. The babyface champion, some pyrotechnics, some smiley faces, and a raspy announcer's voice to say thank you very much for joining us and good night. And that is the first ever In Your House. Before we summarise the show, what's your rating for that match?
I had it down as 2.5.
Dave rated it as 0.75.
Oh, okay.
So that's the one where you're well off there. I went a little bit higher. I think he discredited him a little bit, and like you quite rightly say, Ted DiBiase added quite a bit to it, and I count him for that.
Yeah.
And I count the build up a little bit as well, because there is a bit of a story going into here. It doesn't really continue much after, but there is a bit of a story. So I'm going to go with 1.5. I'm not going to go too high, but I'll give it 1.5. But how would you summarise the event in total?
From what I can say is obviously the stadium that they're in, or the I don't know if it's an arena or it's a hall, or I don't know what sort of venue they're in. But it looks absolutely packed for 7,000 people. It looks really packed. So they've probably not got the rafters. It's probably just 2 tiers. But where the camera can see, it's absolutely packed. Yeah. And you know what? I think they've done a good job. I think, like you mentioned with the dark matches, they could have just brought a few more people in. Bret didn't need to do double duty. No. Like you said, they visited Bret Hart and Jerry the King Lawler a few times. That could have gone off. Could have totally missed off the Mabel Adam Bomb match. That could put that match on the Superstars, put that match on Raw. It don't matter.
Yeah.
They've got. He's going over anyway, Mabel. So don't waste your match on the card for doing stuff like that. I think if they changed a few things there, but I think it's just a bit of unknown territory for Vince as well, in terms of, because all you ever knew really was the big four, and you had so much time on Raw to work towards that, and you had the few bits and pieces that you could do. So this was really probably a learning curve, and I think a lot of the In Your Houses afterwards, he learned from it, so he knew exactly what to bring in, what story to tell at which time.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it was a decent show, apart from the few matches. And can I just say, Carlos Cabrera, he's been What an absolute! He's like a piece of furniture. He's next to that announcer's desk.
And Hugo Sabinovic, the big chap, sat next to him. Like, he doesn't work for him anymore, but they have a gimmick. And I love that the Spanish commentators have a gimmick. Obviously, before the announce table started getting smashed up, like every pay-per-view it's seen, every time that Hugo, would like get involved, he would take a bump and like proper sell it. And the new guy, I don't record his name, so I do apologise, but the new guy that now sits next to Carlos Cabrera to announce the Spanish matches, every time someone comes near that table, he has his own gimmick. He jumps over the rail. So I don't know if you've ever seen it or clocked it, but every single
I'll have to watch it now,
someone comes near that announce table, he jumps the barricade.
Leaves town proper good.
He takes his folder, he's got it all there, and he jumps over. It's great.
That's class. I'll have to look.
Carlos,
I never clocked that.
So,
but no, apart from that, I think it was a good match, a good show. A few dodgy matches, a few good matches, but it was the first one, and I think obviously Vince learns from that.
I think it definitely gets better as it goes along in terms of the product, and in your house, obviously through the Attitude Era, and there's some great matches on the In Your House brand. Before they started changing it to the likes of Just Unforgiven or Just Bad Blood, for example. Which, who knows, we may cover, we may not. It all depends on, what we do next or how we go from here. We'd love to hear from you if you've listened on what you'd like us to cover, whether that be on our Facebook page, our Instagram, or our Instagram page, or our up-and-coming soon-to-be Twitter page as well. As I ain't done it today, I ain't going to lie. I'm going to do it, but I just ain't done it today. It is what it is. Give the event 2 stars in total.
Right, okay.
2 out of 5.
I'll get it 2.5. I went halfway.
There you go. Oh,
there's neither here nor there.
That's what King Mabel and Adam Bomb did to the event. Half a star gone.
Brought it down. Down.
He bombed the shit out of the place. Pun
living the gimmick.
Absolutely living the gimmick. So that is all for us on this first ever edition of Hot Tag Reviews. Thank you for listening or watching or whatever you're doing right now. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. I have been Rob Campbell, and this has been
Mart Holland.
Thank you very much for watching. Take care. We'll see you soon.